right. All right. Good morning. Hey, Bam. Hey, girl. Trying to get this thing straight. Okay, I think we're straight. Yeah.
Does it work?
Huh?
Is it good?
Yeah. Just needed to be a little bigger, that's all. Where you going?
Over here.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Bam, how you doing, girl? Here's the sad part. I almost forgot that, today was the first Saturday. So, hi, Bobby. Hi, darling. Almost forgot today was the first Saturday. I tell him you said hi, Bam. He gone. But I ran in the office and told Dr. Wood, I said, it's the first Saturday. I said, what you want to do? And I said, I thought maybe we could talk about how we make our lemon shots. We haven't made any for the week. And so I think that's what we're going to do. Show you about these lemon shots. He's going to share with you guys why you need to do more than lemon juice and even more than lemon zest. We need to ingest the whole lemon. And so we got a couple of ways to help you do that. But the one way we want to demonstrate this morning is the lemon shots, which is very easy. All you need is organic lemons, truly. And the rest is, you just leave it up to the lemons to do what they need to do. But so good morning to you, Bobby, and good morning to you, Bam, and everybody else that may be on or may be coming in. I'm just trying to bide a little time, waiting for Dr. Wood to get himself together to come on in here. I want to try to get on here as close to 10 as I can, just so people come in because they're familiar with their time, and give people a chance to join that may not see it right away. Oh, and look, he gonna wear lemon. Since we talking about the lemons, brother man gonna put on a lemon polo. Well, Beverly is doing animal print today, and I got on my little satin head wrap that for some reason Dr. Wood told me yesterday. He says, I like that. I said, this is not really a dressy head wrap. He says, well, I still like it. I like that one. So I put it on for him. Bobby is busting a gut. Okay, she got the emoji on. Okay, who is this? I'm sorry, I cannot. So LACB123 join. Welcome to my Instagram channel this morning. Albert Michael, good morning. Oh, Bam said, hey there, handsome pastor. Girl, stop. First of all, he can't take it. He don't handle that well. And just don't, okay? Trust you me. Sister Woodard is telling him this every day. And all he does is this. Pushes me aside and tells me to go on by my business. Whatever.
Hey, y'all.
He said, hey, y'all. Okay, just so you know, he's getting his coffee. In order for this live to go smoothly, he needs his coffee. But I got to show y'all something that I found. Okay, so he and I, one day we're going to just do an entire video on traveling while vegan. because you truly have to prepare before you travel if you're on a plant-based if you have a plant-based lifestyle. Don't like to call it a diet because it truly doesn't feel like a diet to us. We just changed our lifestyle. Bam say, I understand.
I mean,
2.
3 of those.
You want 2 or 3 of these? Okay, so this is what I found at Big Lots. Natural Bliss all oat milk creamer, plant-based. Doesn't have to be refrigerated. Yay! You get 50 in a box for $5. That's literally 10 cents a piece. And so, here you go, Dad. So this is what they look like. They come in these little cups, just like you find the creamers at the store. There it is. How cool is that? Okay, so yeah, big old box of them for $5, right? Let me make sure. $5.49. Okay, and you get 50 of them. So a little more than 10 cents a cup. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. Since he was pulling out that coffee, I wanted to share that with you. As you can see all these fruits and vegetables back here. When I'm getting ready for Bev's midday. You got fruits and vegetables. I got prepping going on over here. I got my jackfruit over here in the pot simmering because that's what I do. I simmer my jackfruit from the can with onion, celery, and parsley and other seasonings to make it more tender and so it can have the flavor of that chicken, which it is not, right? So, at any rate, I got our lemons here, and you might say, Sister Woodard, why are they in water? Because the one thing about organic fruits is they will, those that you can and should leave out. And by the way, you should look at produce when you go to the store. And however you see their produce set up, that's how you should have it at home. Tomatoes, believe it or not, last longer outside of the fridge than they do inside the fridge. Just gonna put it out there. Notice when you go to the store, the tomatoes are not refrigerated. They're just sitting out there because they last longer, especially those that are on the vines. If they stay on the vines, they last so much longer. And if you turn your tomatoes upside down, where the stem portion is facing downward, they also last longer that way. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Regina Shorts. Good morning. Okay, Jackie, you on 2 platforms. But okay, so when you buy your organic lemons, or any lemons really, but particularly we do with our organic lemons, if you put them in water in a container, leave them in the refrigerator, they will last so much longer. They won't start the shriveling up and then the drying out and then the browning and then you got to throw them away. So they last so much longer and stay just as fresh as the day you bought them if you put them in water and leave them in the fridge and use them. Okay, I've got one I've already cut. I think I cut this last night.
Leave it like that.
Okay, and he said just leave it like that. So what we want to do is show you what we do with lemons to help detox and clean our liver. And your liver is very important, and I'm sure most of you already know that. But Dr. Woodard can probably go more in detail about that than myself. So he's got his coffee.
It's close.
With his plant-based oat milk creamer that now comes in box form, and you can buy these things. And I'm just thrilled because we're getting ready to travel here a little bit this week, and so we don't have to hunt and beg people for plant-based creamer for his coffee. We can just pull it right out of our pockets or whatever. Bobby Bristow, love tomatoes. I have them out. Didn't know about the stem side down. Thank you for that, Jim. Yes. So I like to get the vine ripened tomatoes. If I'm going to get a large tomato, Roma tomatoes, I like those because they're easier to cut. The portion size is great for me and Dr. Woodard. I can take one Roma tomato, and that's good for both of us, whether I'm making hamburgers, a salad, or something like that. So I love the portion size of it. I love the firm ones that don't make your salads and things soggy. So I lean more towards Roma tomato. But when I get the whole tomato, I like the vine ripened ones, and I turn them upside down so that they last longer and keep them on the vine until I get ready to use them. Okay, so that's that. The other thing I like to do, Bobby, is I slice the tomatoes, and Dr. would tell you, and I make a tomato sandwich. So I'll get some bread. I'll put either I can get Cantos bread or whatever kind of bread, and I put pine nut hummus on there with some mixed greens and sliced tomato and honey. That stuff is good. I eat it just like that. But anyway, so
All right, let me do this real quick with this.
okay, I'm finna let Dr. Woodard take over now
Well, for 30 seconds.
for 30 seconds. Okay.
Oh, let me just show you guys something really, and you can go and you can actually.
You want to see it?
Well, you know what? We got a lot of light.
Put it up to the camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of light. Maybe I need to do it like this, something like this.
Uh-huh.
All right, so literally.
And then you gotta.
Yeah, and over here.
I'll pull it over this way.
Okay,
Yeah.
So let me back up a little bit because
Yeah.
you can't see both of them. All right, so literally you have in the middle, which is called the commulela. Think of a column, okay, down the middle of this. Okay, now no visible seeds, but we certainly realize there are seeds. So each one of these white kind of fibrous segments right here, that's called the membrane wall. Okay, and in between the membrane wall, you have this pulp section, which are filled with juice sacs. Okay, we know that you squeeze a lemon, you get juice out of it, you get it from the juice sac. Okay, you have the yellow part, which is the exocarp, but you have the mesocarp, or the albedo, is this white that is around it. And oftentimes we don't give that a lot of concern because we're concerned about the juice or the pulp within this particular. I've got some notes. You got a seed, you got a membrane wall. I told you about the membranes. Membranes are absolutely important. They segment any fruit, any organ of the body or whatnot. Most times we don't pay attention to the albedo, which is this portion out here, otherwise known as mesocarp.
It's that white.
Okay, it's the white part. Mm-hmm. Okay, the exocarp's out here, it's the yellow part. And literally, if you use this entire lemon from the exocarp to the commulela to the seeds, grind it all up, which we do, we put them in shots. Okay, and there's a bunch of reasons. Now, you're going to find 8, 10, you might find somebody who says there's 12 reasons to use a lemon. And you can sort it any way you want. You can, frame the argument, as I call it, with the students, frame it any way you want. But literally, there's 10 or 12 good reasons why you really want to use the full lemon. One of them that I think is really important as we get older, you start to develop cataracts just with age, and you start to get that yellowing of the lens and whatnot, and you go, I wish there was something that would help, if you will, scrub the lens and get rid of that yellowing. Okay, it helps with eye health, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Also, there's some benefits that they talk about. You have several chambers to the eye, the anterior chamber, the posterior chamber. Okay. So back in that posterior chamber where you have the vitreous humor and you have the retina and whatnot, lemon is said to be good for retinal health as well. So very good, a number of eye reasons or benefits, which give you reason to use the lemon.
Another whole lemon,
yeah, the whole lemon, not
lemon.
just the juice.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want the juice for the acid and the cleansing and whatnot. Liver health, eye health, and decreased vascular issues are three of the most important reasons why I like lemons and lemon shots. Okay, because cleaning the liver, you need the albedo and the exocarp. Okay, the yellow and the white, if you want to just put it like that. Okay, the yellow and the white. You need those to clean the liver. And you'll notice if you start to use lemon shots regularly, as we do, that for a while you need to stay close to the bathroom. And that's because it's cleaning that lining and it's cleaning the liver of metabolites, okay, ions, other stuff that you literally don't think about, okay? And so we cut up the lemon, and I'm not going to cut it up, but it's already open. But we'll cut it up. We'll put it in the blender. We'll add some water, put it in cups, and then you get the lemon shots. And then you can put those in the smoothies in the morning, or you can put it just in some water, warm or cold, okay? And let that dissolve and drink that, because you're going to want all of it, okay? You're going to want all of it. A lemon shot, and literally, what did I tell you the other day? I think it was 2 or 3 lemon shots a day is what they.
We average about one.
Yeah,
either we throw it in a smoothie. Well, most times we throw it in a smoothie. And one of the things that happened when we weren't able to get the lemon shots made is I just cut up a whole lemon, and I took 1/4 of a lemon and put it in his smoothie and in mine. And I grind it up. You have to grind it up a little bit longer in order to emulsify the lemon, the whole lemon. But it's very refreshing and lemony.
Cleans the taste buds, helps clean the taste buds.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. Here's the shot, the cup.
Yeah, these are like 2-ounce cups.
2 ounces. You can see the 2 on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
which would tell you 2 ounces. Yes.
And that
2 ounce cups.
And we don't even fill that up.
No, you want to fill it about 2/3
sugar.
way, because it's going to rise a little bit as it solidifies and whatnot. But one of the shots, you get a couple of those a day, clean the liver, help clean the intestines, change that acidic environment in your stomach, which is absolutely important. You've got a lot of stuff in your stomach, a lot of hormones that are secreted. Don't want to get into there. Talk about those with my classes a lot. And even at night, if you popped another lemon shot, you might change some of that leptin and ghrelin balance. Okay. And that's where you end up getting that idea that, hey, listen, I'm hungry. I need to find something sweet. But remember, all that sweet stuff becomes maladaptive love handles. That's coming out in that chapter in that book that's yet to come. So you kind of want to go away from that just a little bit, but satisfy the taste buds, satisfy some of the longing. A lemon shot and a smoothie, man, it would be a wonderful thing.
Wonderful nightcap.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So benefits. You don't have to know the parts per se. You know what? I did say there wasn't a seed. Now I can't see real clearly.
Well, these are seeded because they're organic.
They're organic. So you have a seed. You don't want to get rid of that seed. You don't want to get rid of the
We grind up all of it.
Right. The whole thing. The whole thing. Because you're going to need the whole thing. So my benefits, and there's a bunch of them out there, but I benefit because I have a little degeneration of my lens. I'm 62. And just like with aging, you start to get issues, and you start to get that yellowing, and pretty soon then you end up going to the optometrist or the eye doctor, ophthalmologist, and he says, hey, or she says, I got to take the lens out and put another lens in. Yeah, it's a quick little operation, but if you don't have to have it, why have it? And so for me, it's all about trying to cleanse it. Now, literally, these are my computer glasses, which are rather thick and whatnot. And I find myself using them a lot. I find the other ones. But literally in the past months, particularly as we've upped the certain things and we're changing all the time, trying to figure out what's best for us in the things. So with a couple lemon shots a day, I'm actually finding out that I really do prefer to go without the glasses on the short read and then put the glasses on when I'm looking a little bit longer. Now that hasn't been, but, and I'm not saying, oh, that's because of the lemon directly. It is indirectly, I do think, part of it, because I can tell when I've got that yellowing effect and things change. Yellow highlighter is a wonderful way to tell whether or not you've got the yellowing, because if it's starting to dull and it's new and you're like, well, why is that? That's because that lens. And I was using that for a marker. So I went to some other colors and just my highlighters and whatnot, because it makes a big diff. So anyways, lemons, that's what that's all about. She's going to talk to you. There's some more. I'm going to grab some coffee.
Okay. So basically what we do is we cut the whole lemon up. And for, I think, we do about 3 lemons, and it lasts us.
It's about 18 of those cups.
Right. 3 lemons last us a good while. And we put them in these little cups. I layer them with foil or either wax paper, put them in the freezer. And when I make the smoothies in the morning, I throw one in each of our smoothies, and I put the other fruits and milk, and sometimes just straight up water. And it's absolutely heavenly. Add a little bit of sweetener if you want, but banana for us typically is enough sweeter. A full banana, a handful of frozen fruit, a lemon shot, and some milk. If you need a little sweetening, you can either add pure organic maple syrup, which I'm finding works better than the honey, because when you add honey to something cold, it sticks to the side and it becomes thicker. So, but pure organic maple syrup doesn't do that. So that's why sometimes I'll use that, so it doesn't, sit at the bottom like honey will, and you're trying to shake the honey down, but it's not moving because it's in a cold environment. It's already thick. When you put it in a cold environment, it gets even thicker. So that, or either you can get liquid stevia, and trust me, if you get liquid stevia at the store, you don't need nothing but just a spray. That's it. It will sweeten it right up. This stuff is very concentrated. Of course, stevia comes from a plant, and you just squeeze it once and then you're done. We kind of like it, we kind of don't. So we usually either go with honey or either pure maple syrup or just nothing at all. But so you cut up these lemons and you just cut them. It's best to cut them. She said, this one video that we watched, she said she juiced them first. But we thought to ourselves, why juice them? It's all going in here. So we're not going to juice them. Okay, we're just going to put the whole lemon in there with the seeds, with the peel. Now, I got to tell you, when I first got my juicer, when you juice, you can also do it that way, but you lose what Dr. Wood was talking about is the white portion and the peel. That helps to clean your liver. So you can juice it, and you definitely will get more than you normally get if you just juice it with your lemon juicer. But you want the seed, you want the fibers, you want the juice sacs, you want the peel, you want the entire lemon. So I've got almost a whole lemon here. All I do is put it in here. Now, when we do all of our lemons, we get the big gun right up here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's my big, that's the big blender. We put them in there and we do them all. And so right here, and you have to add a little water. So I've got some spring water. And I'm going to add a little bit of spring water here. Right now I'm just using my bullet. Okay, and then I'm going to just put it over here on my Ninja. I'm going to go ahead Okay, creates a wonderful, thick, like liquid. And so it's to the point where it's pourable, and that's what you want it to be able to be poured. So I'm going to add just a little bit more water to it. Not a lot, because you don't want to take away the concentration. Okay, so now I'll give you a close-up of it. It's able to be poured. And this is what we do. We just pour it. I need me
Schedule.
no, this right here. Okay. So I'm just going to put, so we pour whatever we mix up into something with a spout so that we can make our little lemon shots. And we fill them up about halfway. So with just that amount of lemon and the amount of water I used, so I'm going to go about halfway. Really, if you had an ice cube tray, it would work perfectly. But I'm going to tell you what, it's been the dickens trying to find an ice cube tray in the store or anywhere. They just don't make them no more. So maybe I got to check on Amazon and see if they got ice cube trays. But I guess all the refrigerators now have ice makers, so they don't do ice trays. But I'm trying to give you a close-up of what it looks like, the consistency. So you can see that. Consistency. So it's kind of a thick yellow. It's going to expand once it freezes. So one of the things we don't do is put lids on top of it. What we do is we get a large plastic container. We layer them at the bottom, put something between each one, stick them in the freezer, and then I take them out and put them in the smoothie or put them in whatever we want to put them in. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about lemons, and I think I've already told you before, is that lemons are a natural bleach, natural disinfectant. In fact, if you keep putting lemon in your hair will turn lighter. Okay, so it's a natural bleach and a natural disinfectant. So one of the things that Dr. Shirley Hill, those of you who follow her, who is a licensed nutritionist, she talks about the lemon and how the lemon is a natural disinfectant. So when we keep using these disinfectants, that we buy in the store and that were like being bought by the thousands when COVID first started, what you do, because they have so much chemical and so much alcohol in them, they are really destroying that top layer of your skin if you use them too much. And people were using hand sanitizer a lot. Then you had some other folk making natural hand sanitizer. Well, the most simplest natural hand sanitizer you can make is a slice of lemon. And she was saying, carry you a couple of slices of lemon in your pocketbook. And if you feel like you need to sanitize your hand, take that lemon and just rub it on your hand real quick. Not a lot, but it's a natural sanitizer, a natural disinfectant, a natural bleach as well. Okay, so, and also I love just throwing a couple of lemon slices in a hot tub of water and letting it steep in the water, and it's as hot as you can stand it. And then get in that water and just detox, sweat your body, purify your body. When my family was going through COVID, Dr. Shirley Hill was telling me that was the best way to bring down the fever. Set them in the water, in hot water, 2 lemon slices for 30 minutes. And when they get out, what the body does, it cools itself off by sweating naturally. That's the natural way your body cools itself, by sweating. If you can't sweat, you got a real problem. Okay? But then you just cover your body up, get up under blankets, and sweat. Detox the body. Cool the body down and detox the body. So I got maybe about 4.5 shots out of this. So what I'm going to do is probably just go ahead and add the little bit that's in this one to all 4 of these. We'll set these in the freezer, and then we will make a wonderful smoothie. And like I said, it can be a banana. And if you don't get them frozen, that doesn't mean you can't still have it. It's just when you freeze it, it kind of changes the texture of your smoothie or your drink. But you still get the benefits if you use them fresh. But you only need about maybe 1/4 or 1/8 of an entire lemon if you're going to put it in your smoothie. So that's that. Another thing Dr. Woodard, I want him to talk to you all about today, and I asked him to do it. It's one of the things that we do, I try to do as much as we possibly can, is walk. And so the question may be, which is more beneficial for people, if you walk or if you run? Well, it depends on where you are physically, but certainly moving at all is better. And if you want to run, you can run, but you get just as many benefits, if not more, than when you walk. Amen. And so he's going to let us know why walking trumps running and what walking does that running cannot do. Okay, Dr. Word. I'm going to move this out your way.
Yeah, we don't want to lose the limits.
Hey, we want our shots.
Listen, because of some of the things here, let me have that back. Just because.
Did you need this? Right here? You laid it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Oftentimes you see people say, I want to get in shape. I want to run. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, as you get older, no secret, 62 years of age. I've got several parts of my left knee that have been replaced and substituted with plastic or steel, metal. You just can't. So when I'm talking with the nurses, like I've got a summer class getting ready to start up this week with some young people, we'll go through it again, talk about a number of things. I want to talk about the benefit of walking versus running. And not so much the emphasis on running, because there's a lot of stuff out there on running. Some people think, well, if I can't run, I can't get in shape. That's absolutely wrong, because there really are benefits to walking that you can do that as long as you've got 2 legs, can be mobile, and certainly it doesn't matter necessarily the speed of the walk as it does the duration of the walk. And I was talking about with Bev and I guess a few other members at one week, I was talking about gap junctions, GAP junctions. You can look it up for yourself. Body has really 3 basic type of gap junctions. Is that literally there's the gap junction itself, which is the way that cells communicate with one another. And they've got ways that they talk when they line up. You got 7 trillion cells. They've got to be able to communicate with each other. You have tight junctions where it's very difficult to get through those, except for that impermeable membrane that lines between the 2 of them. So gap junction, you can squeeze through them. And then you have desmosomes. And desmosomes are little fibrous connections between cells themselves. And you say, well, why do we have these different kinds of ways that cells line up? They line up and they have a little gap between them, or they can be snugged up against each other, or they can have communications between each other. Just depends upon what the tissue is, because function always follows structure. It's something we talk about all the time in anatomy and physiology: structure and function, structure and function. Well, some way or another, your body has to be able to have an exchange of ions, what we call secondary messengers. Okay, primary messengers come up to the cell. Secondary messengers are inside the cell. So it's the outside, got to get across the membrane and inside. So these secondary messengers have to get the communication from the outside. So just think of it as outside, inside. And if I take that lemon, everything beyond that yellow peels on the outside, everything on the inward side towards that columella. Okay, slow it down. That center, it's the column, okay, in the center of the thing. All right, so there's a world, and what I want you to think, and there's some words that you're going to have to look up with time. If I say pannexins or connexins, somebody says, how do you spell it? And I wrote it down just so I could remember how to spell it for you. Pannexins or connexins. Pannexins, connexins.
Do the second one.
Okay. Connexins. So those are two types of protein families: pannexins, pannexins, connexins, connexins. Okay, two types of protein families, and their responsibility lies around these gap junctions. Okay, and sometimes you'll hear people in medicine or in research of medicine talk about vitamin P. Yeah. Vitamin P, which are these protein expressions. Okay, and it's not something you can eat. Okay, it happens as we live, as the body operates. Well, what has been interesting is some of the recent studies have proven that vitamin P, which it really isn't a vitamin, but we kind of dub it that in the literature, these gap junction proteins and cellularity, that's just talking about the stuff that happens between cells, that is expressed more greatly or to a greater extent with walking than any other exercise. Uh-oh. Okay. Not hitting the gym, not running, not bicycling, but walking. Walking helps gap junction functionality so that the pannexins and the connexins and the stuff that happens with the exchange of the metabolites and the ions and the secondary messengers is expressed to a greater extent. Now, just in case, and that's why I had this paper here, just in case you think I'm kidding, here's a study. And I put some notes on there about gap junction protein expression and cellularity. You will find a number, I didn't even do it over here. You will find a number of studies out there. And if you go and do like I do, read those peer-reviewed stuff, that you will find that 30 minutes of walking benefits gap junctions more than jogging, more than an hour and a half in the gym. Okay, you can pump up your muscles, but it doesn't necessarily help your gap junctions. And that's a crazy benefit. And then, you stop and you think about how wonderfully we've been made and why would God do that? He said, because not everybody's going to hit the gym. Not everybody's going to be into bodybuilding. Not everybody is going to be, if you will, riding a bicycle. But he said, the likelihood of people being able to walk from the time they're able to walk to the time that they're not. So from the cradle to the grave,
Right.
they can help the cells, the 7 trillion cells in their body, to communicate to a better extent purely by walking.
Wow.
Purely by walking. So we do.
Sometimes we get to do it together.
Yeah, sometimes we get to do it together, and other times I will religiously, okay, if I know she's busy,
like 2 a day,
right? And if I'm able, I'm gonna do it twice a day, because what I understand is, 1, I love to walk. 2, a 3K walk, uses up about an hour of time, depends upon how fast you're walking, 14 minutes to 18, 19 minutes a mile. Literally depends on the weather.
Depends on how long your legs are.
Yeah. And just getting out there. And so, excuse me, the summer's coming. Now I have some responsibilities that I need to take care of. But on the days when I don't have as much responsibility, hit it in the morning, hit it in the evening. Okay. Maybe a 3K in the morning and a 2K at night, or a 2 point something. Okay.
And it doesn't have to be that much when you're starting out. You just, you get, sometimes we have to start somewhere.
Right. But what you want to work up to is at least 30 minutes.
Yes.
See, and I know that if I do that 3K, that's going to be roughly 50 to 60 minutes. I know that I can do it 2.16K in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've got a special route that I walk to make sure that I get it in, even if it's late. When I say late, 8:30, 9 o'clock, know that I can get it in a half an hour now that the days are longer.
And you may, if you're slower, let me ask you this, Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
If your pace is slower,
mm-hmm.
say you're not 16 to 18 minutes per minute, maybe you're 20,
25
if you
minutes.
still get that half an hour in, you still are benefiting yourself.
Right. Listen, it's not distance. It's
time.
It's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30 minutes. You need that 30 minutes, because what you find is that cells are full of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. You find that cells have to be able to have a metabolic exchange. Okay. The metabolic exchange requires that roughly 30 minutes, okay, for cells to communicate and exchange, if you will, to breathe properly. I hate to use that term. Okay. Things happen within the cells, but cellular respiration, that's what it is. It is breathing. Okay. So it takes a while from glycolysis to the Krebs cycle to oxidative phosphorylation and all that particular kind of stuff that we talk about in the biological world. It takes a little bit. So 30 minutes literally to get that oxygen exchange process. Okay. Gap junctions need to be able to communicate. Cells need to be able to communicate whether there's a little bit of space, or it's tight, or there's some sort of connection between them. And there's the 3 kinds of things. And so walking will enable that stuff to actually get itself into shape. It helps the spine. It helps the legs. It helps blood flow. Literally, we've talked about lymph, I believe, at some point or another. If we haven't, I'll get there. Lymph doesn't move unless your muscles contract. That's why we call it third spacing. That's why literally joints will swell around the joints and then the lower extremities, dependent extremities.
And you could experience that once you first start walking.
Oh, you will.
If your fingers get tight, that's,
legs will get a little tight, because what's happening is you're now moving the lymph.
Right.
Literally, you don't move the lymph on the chair.
Or couch.
Okay.
Or any type of sedentary lifestyle.
And sedentarism will lead to more sedentarism. And what happens is you'll find it more difficult to move, and joints will become stiff, and things do not work properly. So you have to move in order to feel better. Fight through the pain. Fight through the pain today, less pain tomorrow. Fight through that pain, less pain the day after. After you've been doing this for a couple weeks, you'll feel good. The body will be calling for it. Things will be moving. Joints will open up. Gap junctions, okay, between cells, so that things, ions and metabolites are able to be expressed. And that happens with walking. It's not running that causes it. Now, yet somebody says, well, I can prove that it happens a little bit with running. To a greater extent, over the whole span of your 7 trillion cells, it happens to a greater extent with walking than any other exercise. Okay? So you check it out.
Thereby the scripture says the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but what you really need is just a little bit endurance. A little bit of endurance to do 30 minutes at your own pace. And so, like I said, Dr. Woodard had some terms and things that I could not explain to you. And even after he did the explaining, you may have missed some stuff. But the bottom line is, you don't have to run a marathon to stay healthy and to move. And when he's talking about the lymph nodes, there are natural ways you can clean out your lymph nodes. Cucumbers are great for keeping your lymph nodes clean. Most times when people get cancer, they tell you it's in your lymph nodes. But what do? They remove the lymph nodes, the very things that clean the cancer out of your body, which what really needs to happen is you need to clean your lymph nodes so they can clean the cancer out. But in traditional medicine, that's not what you're told. But more importantly, even if you're cleaning your lymph nodes, what Dr. Woodard is saying is that you still have to move. You still have to move. I don't care how many cucumbers you eat. If you're sitting all day long and you don't have at least 30 minutes of consistent movement, then even eating the cucumbers is not as effective. Okay, so you can move. And I know some of us have some real physical difficulties with moving. But if you can do it at your pace for 30 minutes starting out, it will increasingly become less painful and a little bit easier. So I didn't put that in the title. I'll probably have to go back and change the title. I forgot to put, you're going to be talking about vitamin P, something that you do not get.
Yeah, talk about gap junctions. Yeah, vitamin P gap.
Vitamin P / gap junctions. Okay, we'll determine what the title is.
Because it's protein expression.
Okay, protein expression. Okay, so the title on this particular video today, what I put was For the Love of Lemons. That's what I put, For the Love of Lemons. I should have put For the Love of the Entire Lemon. Really is what I should have put.
You can just subtitle it.
Okay, I'll subtitle it. Okay, but I thank God for all of you for joining us this morning. We do have some other things today we have to do. We got a lot more day and a lot more to do. Thank God for summer days that are longer. So you can get more done while the sun is up. But of course, we're going to be traveling a little bit next week, going to Madison, speaking engagement.